So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have a speed paint running in the background while I talk about something that I've been thinking about for a little while. The character that I'm drawing in the speed paint is actually an OC of mine. Her name is Hanako. She is an NPC in a D&D campaign I'm writing, and hopefully someday soon I'll make a video series talking about some of my characters because I have a lot of them. Okay, with that being said, let's roll the speed paint. So, one thing about me is I love creating characters. I've always loved creating characters ever since I got into drawing, and even before I got into drawing. I would be like 5, 6, 7 years old, playing pretend games with my friends outside while we were swimming in the pool or jumping on the trampoline. We would make up pretend characters and then, quote, roleplay as these characters. Then as I got older, I started getting into drawing. When I first got into middle school, around 11, 12 years old, I was obsessed with making Sonic characters. I had tons of them, and they were mostly just simple recolors like a red and pink Cream the Rabbit, until I started getting a little better at coloring over Sonic screenshots and drawing them myself. But the point was, I had a ton of fun doing this. Me and my friends would make characters together, we would create stories for them, and we would do this for hours and hours and hours. We would roleplay them. It was great. All of my friends did it. I had a huge group of friends that were all creating characters together. While we were just kids, though, there was one thing that most of us feared, and that was making a Mary Sue. So what's a Mary Sue? In case you don't know, which I would be surprised if you don't, a Mary Sue is a character who's typically a girl, but I think having a gendered term for this is kind of stupid, so I'm going to refer to all characters, boy, girl, other, as Mary Sues. So a character that's like perfect in every way, like they can do no wrong, they're all powerful, and they're just literally the, quote, perfect character. A lot of traits of Mary Sues are commonly they're beautiful, they have tons of love interest, constantly caught in love triangles. They have no negative traits, and if they do, it's typically something like, oh, they're so clumsy, they're so cute because they're so clumsy, or they have super strong magical powers. So when I was younger, I was terrified of making a Mary Sue. Because, I wanted people to like my characters. I wanted people to roleplay my characters with. I wanted to talk about my characters. I didn't want anyone thinking they were annoying Mary Sue and not wanting to interact with them. So I tried really hard to keep all my characters balanced, to make sure that they weren't Mary Sues. There were memes going around on DeviantArt to, quote, check if your character was a Mary Sue or not. And it was this whole big checklist. And if you got between a certain range, your character wasn't a Mary Sue, blah, blah, blah. I did so many of those tests, and it said my characters weren't Mary Sues, but looking back at it, I'm sure almost all of my characters at the time would be classified as Mary Sues, but they made me happy. I was having fun with them. If someone came along and told me my characters were a Mary Sue, I think I would be pretty devastated. So here's my thing now. I'm older, obviously, and I've still kept up character creation. I still love doing it. I still create new characters constantly. I still write about these characters. I still draw these characters. I still develop these characters, etc. And over the years, I've gotten better. My character writing has gotten better. My character designing skills have gotten better. I've just overall improved with time. So writing Mary Sues hasn't been something that's been on my mind in a few years now, actually. It's not something I think about. It's not something I actively worry about. Because character creating for me is just something that's fun, and it's not really something I need to stress about. Now, with all that being said, I don't understand why people get on other people's cases for, quote, creating Mary Sue characters. I'll see in, comments of drawings or whatever, people, talking about their character, or, maybe in role plays, people say, oh, your character's such a Mary Sue, your character's going into Mary Sue territory, maybe you should fix that, maybe you should tone down those powers. Maybe you should give your character some more flaws. And I always stop and think, why? Why does it matter? You could argue that, yes, if you want to make characters for a professional setting, you need to learn how to make well-rounded characters. But if you're just doing it for fun, why does it matter if your character is too pretty? Why does it matter if your character's in a love triangle? Why does it matter if your character has, super cool, super powerful magic? People are just doing it for fun. People just want to have fun. And a lot of these times, these people making, quote, Mary Sue characters are just kids. They're just kids starting to draw, kids starting to make their own characters, kids making characters that might be a self-insert, and they just want to have fun. They just want to make characters by themselves or with their friends, maybe roleplay these characters. And it's not like they're doing anything in a professional setting with these characters. These characters are mainly just for them. So I don't see the point in trying to tear down someone's character, even if they're not a child, even if you see an adult making a character who seems like too perfect to exist, or too pretty to exist, or their magic is too powerful, or this and that. Why do you need to point out if it's a Mary Sue or not? Why can't you just let people create the characters that they want to create? Obviously, in art, critique is something that happens, right? Whether you made an anatomy mistake, whether you made a color mistake, that kind of stuff I get. But I guess when it comes to something as personal as creating an OC, that character is personal to someone, you know? That's someone's baby. They probably thought about them for hours, spent a while choosing their name, their backstory, writing about their family, all this and all that. And for someone to hear that their character is a Mary Sue when all they're doing is having fun with their character, it can be heartbreaking, you know? It can make someone just completely scrap a character when all they were doing is trying to have fun with it anyway. So I really don't see the point in pointing out if a character is a Mary Sue or not, and I think it's just kind of mean-spirited, you know? Like, just let people have fun with their characters. It's not really a big deal. Again, if someone's trying to be a professional character writer, it's probably good for them to know the signs of a, quote, Mary Sue early. But even a lot of well-loved characters from big mainstream media could be classified as Mary Sues. Whether they got super strong powers, whether everyone loves them, whether they're in a love triangle. Self-inserts are typically seen as Mary Sues too, but that one really seems to me like someone's just trying to have fun. Maybe someone just really likes Zelda and wants to make a character that's, quote, Zelda's romantic partner, but it's really just them because they like Zelda so much. Is that really harmful? Is that really something that's bad? Maybe it's just me. I don't actually know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, so please don't come at me if you're a big hater of Mary Sues. Are there people out there like that? I really don't know. But I just wanted to kind of get out my thoughts, kind of have a conversation about it, just because I really don't understand why it's a big deal. Sure, it can get annoying, like say if you're role-playing with this person, but if it's that big of a deal, then just either A, bring it up to them nicely, or B, just don't roleplay with them. You don't need to interact with the character, right? Anyway, you can leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'd love to read some more conversation about this kind of thing. Thank you so much for watching. If you could subscribe and hit thumbs up, it'd be really, really, really appreciated, but you're absolutely not obliged to at all, and I will see you in the next video. And if you made it this long, if you remember in the beginning of the video, I said that the character that I'm drawing in the background of this video is actually one of my own OCs. She's fairly new to me. I think I've only had her for about, at most, maybe like 3 or so months. I am currently writing my own D&D campaign. I've never been a DM before ever, so this is really new to me. In fact, I've only been playing D&D this past year, so the whole game is new to me. Just to give a little bit of information on her, like I said, her name is Hanako Kita, and she is a kitsune. Kitsune are a homebrew race that I kind of compiled a bunch of other people's kitsune sheets together to try to make my own thing for them. She's actually a mercenary. She can either be a friend or the foe of the player because due to the nature of her being a mercenary, if you can make it worth her while for her to be nice to you, she'll play nice with you. I don't think I can actually say too much about her in particular because I'm not sure if my players are going to be watching this or not. But she actually plays a pretty big role in the story of the campaign that I'm writing. If anyone would want to hear more about that, I would love to make a whole video series about my D&D NPCs in particular, just because I don't have anyone to talk about them with, because my players are all my friends and they can't know about my NPCs until it actually happens in session. So, it's been kind of rough. But yeah, if that's something you're interested in, let me know, and trust me, I would love to make that video. No, really, I love talking about my own characters, and you know what, if my character's a Mary Sue, you can be like, hey, remember when you made a video talking about how you shouldn't call characters Mary Sues? Did you just do that because all your characters are Mary Sues and you don't want people to be mean to you? I'm joking, please don't say that to me. Anyway, once again, thank you for watching, especially if you made it this far. Bye, guys!